Okay. Well, here we are, playing modded Minecraft again. So, yeah. I'm playing, a mod pack that a friend built a long time ago, so. Num 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 num. Num 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 indeed. Did that red matter just respawn on me? Oh well. Don't mind the background noise. It's just some guy's video. But, yeah. Hope y'all are doing good. Haven't streamed in a while, so. I don't like scary cave sounds. Man, my XP tree isn't. My XP tree is not XPing. Oh wait. Is it now? Well, I thought it was being shitty, but I guess not. Okay. Also, I take no fall damage, because if I hold crouch, I can fall down really fast. The armor that I'm wearing, gravity, F to toggle step assist. No, wait. Step assist enabled. Wait, what? Dude, that's actually so helpful. Left control F to toggle night vision. Dude, that is... Okay. I don't even pay that much attention to my gear. Oh no, my precious well. I could fix that. Where did the fence go? I can't remember. Oh wait, no, there it is. All fixed. Wee. I see a chest in this tree. I see a silverfish pet in that chest. Okay. My EMC value is pretty high, so that's good. I'm adjusting something off screen. Okay. Also, yes, I can walk on water. It just has something to do with the armor set that I have. Let's see. A while back, actually no, like a few days ago, I started with like nothing, and then I got Project E. Well, I got the Philosopher's Stone, and then I made the transfusion table, and so that's how I was able to get all my stuff, or what I have now at least. Able to get all my valuables. Oh, a little bit of a freeze right there. What? Stupid caterpillar. What do you think you're doing? Oh, what did I just get myself into? You can't place blocks mid-air, bit. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you. That's not fair. Your fight is not fair. A sponge? Poison rock. Cook food. If anyone is familiar with any of these mods and you're watching right now, maybe perhaps tell me what I need to do. Cause I don't quite get what I need to do with some of these things. Like, I have Project E, and this is version 7.1, I think. I don't remember. I know it's version 1.7 point something. But it's like a really old version of Minecraft, so I could see whereas mods would be easier to run and are more peak. What's this? Alien? No, I'm putting that back. Ah, oh, dude. I'm not fighting that alien. I'm not even gonna fight it on stream. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna tell you why I'm not gonna fight that alien. Because it makes a ear-piercingly loud sound, and I am wearing headphones. And for those of you watching this late at night, the sound that it makes is not pleasant. And when I mean it is ear-piercingly loud, I do mean it is ear-piercingly loud. Like, you could wake up an entire city block with the sound it makes. Like, I'm not even kidding. And headphone users, I feel even worse for. Zombie spawn egg. Oh shoot, giant zombie. He dead. What is that? That's a cotton plant. I'm gonna take that because, well, cotton is just good. Oh, shoot. Get away from me. What's this? Ostrich. Hey, I got another ostrich spawn egg. Or at least an ancient dried one. Is that a sky slime? What the heck? Oh, shoot. You know, that's a sky slime. That's a lucky block. There's another lucky block right over there. Question is, how lucky can I get with these things? Dude. Y'all for real chasing me right now? Okay, that's good. Oh my. Try and chase me now. I can fly. Faster than you. Learned. Cotton seeds. Just a bunch of useless junk. Yep, welcome home. Ancient dried spawn eggs. Sponges. My basement. Lightsaber thingy. Oh yeah, no, it's just. Oh, that's just one of the boyfriend NPCs. There's also girlfriend NPCs, don't worry. But they're nothing like the, you know, kinds of mods, so don't worry about that. Magic artifact. It's my XP orb forever. Gotta love it. Shoot. Yeah, no, this is my first house. I kind of like staying in it, despite the ridiculously small size. Hiss all you want, vampire. You can get my attention with it. If anything, you just annoy me. Okay. So my XP tree is actually XP treeing. Don't get confused. I'm just glad that it's working now. No. This bracelet. Oh well, I was trying to throw my XP bottle in here with the other ones. Gem armor. I basically have creative flight because of the wings I have on my back. Flight mode, normal flight, so shoot. Well, dang, the monsters decided to reside under my tree. What's up, Obsidian Golem? You know what? Y'all need new friends. There. Now y'all don't have those boring golems. Speaking of which, where are the other ones? So there's the obsidian. Oh, there's the glass golem. Where'd the other two go? Did they disappear? Oh, don't tell me they went in the end with the lapis golem. That's where my last golem went. If you're wondering why I have these cobblestone pillars put up around here, it's because before I was able to fly, I actually had to use a portal gun to get around, so there was certain blind spots I couldn't see with all these obstacles in the way, so I placed pillars for the portal to actually work. And it seems that this is not working. A foot long. Okay, well, whatever. Should I put more duplicator trees down over there by that XP tree? I don't know. Oh, I am really regretting setting off that catalyst. Ooh, ore spawn thingy. $16,000. Whatever, man. It's whatever. Why did you make a frog sound? You're a chipmunk. What do I do? I got it. How much of this is 17? Darn. Neutronium nugget, about 35.6 million metric tons. And I can carry that in my inventory with ease. So 9 of these put into one of this. Hold on. Let me math real quick. I'm gonna math real quick. How many metric tons? 35.6 million metric tons. Wait, okay. So 35,600,000 times 9. One ingot of neutronium weighs like 320,400,000 pounds. Jesus. Or no. That's how many tons it weighs. That. Oh man. How am I even carrying this? How has my chest not sunken through the floor to my basement? Ah, no. I need the, the pile of neutrons. Actually, I think I had them stored up here. I'll get 9 ingots of this, and then I'll be able to make a full block, and then I can duplicate it with a dupe tree, and not have to worry about waiting anymore for trying to get this neutronium. Okay. Also, yes, the helmet does show. I just have this cosmetic armor over it. I think the goggles look cool, but helmet looks way cooler. What did you... You killed one of those bees, didn't you? Good for you. Protecting my property. That's why I created you. Especially out of valuable resources. And Diamond Golem, you're supposed to be the strongest one out of all the golems in this whole mod, so... The glass golem is weak, I mean obviously, because it's made of freaking glass, so... Butter, candy, sugar, flowers, all that fun stuff. Shoot. I'm trying to remember this mega crafting thingy. Oh yeah, the crystal matrix. I should still make that. It doesn't cost nearly as much now because I have so much EMC value, so... I got a matrix, I'm gonna need that later. Compressor. I need a neutronium block. When I get that, I'll dupe it and get up extra ingots. Neutronium gear. Infinity catalyst. Yeah, I'm surprised you don't need neutronium for this. Well, no, I take that back. You need neutronium for the compressor so you can get the singularities. Pure essence. How do you get that? Record fragment. Well, that's easy to get. Just break a music disc. Awakened Draconium block. Crystal cluster. Ludicrate ingot. Endurium. Oh, I have to... Wait, that's part of Tinker's crafting. Shoot. That's Tinker's crafting. I haven't built a forge yet. I was so focused on Project E. I'll eventually get all the infinity stuff, but right now it's a pipe dream. I have to like grind endlessly if I want to even think about even nearing to touch even a fraction of this. I have to make like a bunch of these. Alternate stew. I have to have like one of every freaking crop. And of course a pile of neutrons. So this is kind of disappointing. And Lucky Blocks don't provide me any of these modded foods, so I kind of actually have to go search for it myself. It's a little bit annoying, but I can do it. I'm just gonna break this beacon. I'm gonna grab a singular emerald from here. And I'm gonna have a better idea. I figured one of them would have at least fallen in the water. It's because I'm standing on water. Itchy head. My math thing was. For some weird reason, I think iron looks like divinity. You can just eat it, you know? I don't know what I'm thinking about. Like, why would anybody want to eat iron? It's metal. Just the way it looks, it kind of looks like divinity. If any of y'all can relate, well, that's crazy. Shoot. Emerald. No! My crops. Why do these Endermen keep taking my dirt, dude? I'm sick of Endermen taking my dirt blocks, man. At least I can keep getting XP from my XP tree. Is there anything up here? Ah, come on. Yeah, you knew what time it was. Cream avocado soup. No. I can't EMC it, so I'm just gonna stuff it away in the food chest. I don't know where I'm gonna build this thing. Frog? Get out! That was crazy timing. Someone clip that. Dang it. Now I have home resistance. What are you all doing down here? What in the... Oh, this is my old XP farm. I should probably move it to the surface. Alright. Shoot, I don't know where to put it. Ooh, I could actually duplicate this whole XP bush and just line them all up over here. You know, I'm gonna grab one and put it by a dupe tree. Start duplicating XP bushes. Let's see. I don't know why emeralds are so much more valuable than diamonds. I don't get it. I mean, unless they truly are more valuable than diamonds in real life, then I would understand it more than likely. Oh yep, see, my XP bushes are starting to multiply. I'm gonna fly away over to a village somewhere to see if actually any villagers have any good things to trade. I could just transmutation tablet, my emeralds, and then oh my gosh. Oh shoot. Oh, that happened. Well, that was weird. Okay, whatever. We're back now. We're in the flow of things. Paintings. Learned. Yep, nope. I was correct. Is really the only villagers here a forge master and a freaking priest? Whoa, whoa, okay. I get it, you don't want me there. I'm going. Even though I'm stronger than you, and I could very much easily put you in your place, I'm gonna leave. Oh my, that gave me a freaking heart attack. Why? I don't know. I'm quite literally invulnerable to most damage. Not all damage, most damage. My armor is immune to almost everything. I forgot I had night vision for my helmet, which is useful. Wait. It does work underwater. It doesn't work as well as underwater as I thought it would. I'm so glad when Minecraft had their aquatic update, I'm actually glad they had it, because whoa, look at all these girls. What? How are y'all over here? Do y'all inhabit this island? Or whatever this piece of land is? Wherever this landmass is. Oh yeah, we got parsnips. I told you I could very much well put you in your place. Vampires. Suckiest scum of this entire mod pack. But I'm not going to complain, because they're not as annoying as they were before I obtained this armor. And of course I didn't get a single jungle sapling out of it. That's what I was hoping for, because I saw a jungle tree and I wanted a jungle sapling. I didn't want those oak saplings. There. Oh, what's this? I didn't even see that. I don't know what it is, but I want it. Blood altar of saturation. Well, maybe I can make use of this. These are all foods I'm gonna have to grow myself. Oh. I don't have enough room. What's this lucky block gonna be? I hope it's not a TNT. No, it was just a bunch of chickens. Jungle wood, diamonds. I never have to worry about losing my home ever again because I have my bed, my spawn point as a marker for the home, the house pet, or yeah. Is that dark oak? Yeah. I'm gonna try to learn every tree type variant. At least that I know exists in this game. Or this mod pack. I have most of the berries. I just don't know if I have all of them. I need the tree fruits too, but I don't know where all of them are. What? Oh my Mothra, you freaking piece of garbage. Yeah, get out of here. You piece of garbage. Well, luckily zombies don't attack livestock, so... Mobs just don't know when to leave you alone, do they? I wouldn't be surprised if your answer in the comments was no, because you can relate so much to it. Here's another Jedi place. And when am I ever gonna find a Sith temple? I'm just begging for a lightsaber right now at this point. I think I have an idea. Well, last time slamming down on something seemed to work, but I guess not with these guys. Garbage. There's ghosts in here. I don't like your tone, mister. No. I guess it's an instant home, or something. Oh my gosh, I know exactly what this kind of... Prepare for... My delicate ears. Oh my gosh. remind me never to do those again. I'll keep the mantis spawn eggs, but I'm not ever going to use these on stream. That's just... I'm not trying to torture y'all. That sound is just unbearable. I just don't even know why the creator of this... you know, no, I'm not even gonna keep it. Fuck the mantises. Shoot. Oh. Ore spawn. Gotta love it. I am going to continue my adventure this way. After it was added, it slowly changed color, and this was because the chromium in the Jones reagent was getting reduced. This was a very good sign that it was reacting with the isononanol, and hopefully it was turning it into the isononanoic acid. The goal here was to eventually add all of the Jones reagent. That looked like a dungeon for a minute right there. I almost went in it because I'm kind of a daredevil, so. Oh look, now red's on. Except I'm not going to pay attention to that because I have a live stream going on, so. Yeah. Oh shoot. Been going for almost an hour now. About 2 hours later, it looked almost the same, and at this point, it should have been done. Shoot. You know, I'm just gonna... Num 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 num. Yes, yes, num 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 indeed. Nope, here we go. Doing this BS all over again. It's gonna go with my collection of crafting thingies. Why does this wood always turn acacia? I literally replaced it twice with oak, and it turns acacia by itself. I didn't even notice that till just now. A glass golem. Essence berry bush. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting these essence berries, alright. Let's see. Another ore spawn coin. I got a uranium nugget. No big deal. I'll just stash it away with my other uranium stuff and titanium. Titanium, uranium, titanium. That's how you get this ultimate stuff, by the way. I don't know what to do. I think I'm a little bit lost. A date? Yeah, no. Dang, even my food chest is full. You may as well learn that raw chicken right there. I have so many levels, it's not even funny. I did put that one in there. What didn't I put? I'm gonna take this. You know what? Do I have a jukebox? I don't think I have a jukebox. Well, no, because if I had a jukebox, I would have seen it. I forgot how to make a jukebox. This is embarrassing. That's what I misclicked. And I learned the jukebox. Okay. This has Fortune 5. Oh shoot. Uh-oh. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Oh no. My torch. Huh? So I added a bunch more. This didn't really seem to do anything, and this was because there was some sort of impurity. I was going to have to get rid of it, and to do this, I was going to have to put it back into a separate filter. I then added a different solvent called hexanes, which would dissolve most of the. I'm so used to mod packs that have like shaders, and so whenever you shoot a bow and arrow with fire, it ignites the area too. So you can kind of see in the dark when you shoot a flaming arrow. I keep forgetting this is not one of those mod packs. And since this is old Minecraft, you don't really get that luxury of shaders. Every time I walk by my own house, I always think there's a creeper in there just because of that head that I took. And it almost immediately turned everything white, which I was extremely happy to see. This was all isotonic acid being regenerated, and it was going back to being insoluble in water. I then again added some hexanes, but this time Even though I could very easily kill all the monsters that spawn at night, I choose to go to sleep because I don't want to have to deal with the night. Unless I'm far away from home and I don't have a choice, and then, well, you know, night vision. What is itching back there? Jeez. Okay. Just gonna EMC that for now. Take that. And I think I'm done duplicating bushes. Because now I can come pick off essence berries whenever I need to. And, yeah. I don't know why they wouldn't come to me. Quite literally had to physically make them move towards me. Ooh. Ooh. Wait a minute. Tinkers. Right? I think I'm pretty much finished with Project E. I just need... I need to work on Tinkers now. And extreme crafting. I can still make a crystal apple, right? Yeah, jeweled apple. Oh, you can just put diamonds around it. What does it even do? What? That apple's way better than the golden apple. And it's like, what? No way. Notch apples are more expensive. I'm taking a full stack of these. I don't care, man. They're way better than notch apples. Dude, there's no way. Okay. Permanent HP increase. Wait. Empty canister. Aluminum ingots. tin and bone. Yo, I have aluminum. I also have tin. Time to go duplicate another ore that I barely mined. There we go. Dang, I've noticed I don't have to eat anymore. I guess my armor. Well, I don't want to jinx it, so. I've got to keep the Philosopher's Stone. This right here is pet food. These are the pets. Food. Jeweled apple. Let's see. Yeah, I screwed up the first time with the XP tree. I had to break the whole thing. But I fixed it now, so I'm able to just there's so much like blocks under there. I mean, obviously there's a lot of blocks under there, but I mean like the kind that are useless more than you can, well, more you can find on the surface than you Desert Nova. Okay. Well, that happened. This method of flying is a lot faster. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Stop me dead in my tracks. We found a forest. Far from home. Just like all my other expeditions. Except they didn't last very long, and I used to have to ride a boat to get across the water. Oh, I've looted this one before. Blaze. Cave Fisher. Flame Rock. Don't ask why I did that. I saw the words Flame Rock and I had to test. Should I build an ice castle? No, I feel like that'd take way too much time. Ah, come on. What is this? What? How do you even pronounce that? Oh, I'm not even gonna try. I don't want to sound dumb on the. I don't want to sound dumb on here. Oh shoot! Did I loot this one yet? No. Oh, this one is relatively neat. You know, I don't even know why I took the food. I'll take the lucky block. Num 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 num. Indeed. Oh, come on, man. I got rid of my pet's food. The pet chest. Put that in there, that in there. And get a sand. Place that there. Now I just have it. For a while, the first block I used to see on here was... What? So emeralds are more expensive. Diamonds are more lucky. I don't get that dynamic. Well, either way, I'm gonna come over here. Potatoes. But I got a 100% lucky block, man. What's the big idea? That's whatever, I guess. Learned. I need to make a forge. And the question is, where am I gonna build it? I don't know where I'm gonna build my forge. This island is... Oh, what am I gonna do? Bullseye. It's raining XP from this tree. So y'all think it's cool to just hang under my XP tree? I don't think so. This is my XP tree. Oh. That sounded a little bit weird. Man, I don't know why y'all even bother spawning. Man, I am just super speedy. Dang, how many XP bottles fell off of this tree? Even if I do fall off, I can just fly right back up. Oh, dang. Oh shoot, I got an itchy eye. Oh my gosh. It's just straight up raining. You know, if Minecraft mobs had feelings, I'd imagine they'd be so pissed right now because they can't even touch a fraction of my HP. That's what I imagine right now. Let's see, crystal smelter, XP. Oh wow. Empty canister. Oh wow, I can actually MC that. a sawmill?
I took it off, and almost immediately, I saw some white powder separating out. I was again hoping
Well, you know where this has to go.
when it eventually got to around room temperature. I put it in the freezer overnight. When I checked on it the next day, it looked like a bit more of it had appeared.
Oh, I actually need to put like power to it.
Isolated, and I poured it all into
Wait.
the filter. I then turned on my pump and I pulled away all the liquid, and I washed it
Bloodstone energy cell.
When it was eventually done, I tried it in a desiccator, and this was what I was left with. It was a bunch of nice and white powder, and I was really hoping it was the right thing. The only way to confirm this, though,
Resonant energy cell.
and I started by checking its melting point. However, unlike last time,
Okay,
I was
that'll
very
be
disappointed.
that'll be there for me to figure out later.
At 219C, but it instead started melting at around 200 C, and then it looked like it burned. Another test was to see if it were soluble in water, and pretty much it never seemed to work. This was exactly what had happened many times in the past when I had tried making it before. The properties of whatever I made just didn't seem to match up with that low amine hydrochloride. I was honestly pretty sad at this point, but as one final and desperate test, I decided to run something called an NMR. Just by chance, a week earlier, I had gotten my hands on a little NMR machine, and I figured I might as well try it out. I honestly assumed that it was just going to be a waste of time. But surprisingly, that actually wasn't the case. The result that I got matched up perfectly with what I was hoping for. And when I saw this, I really didn't know what to believe. According to the NMR, this was vanillin hydrochloride. According to everywhere else, though, that reported the melting
I'm just gonna straight up have to.
it was something else. In general, NMR is way more trustworthy, and I decided to just ignore all the other stuff. Yet I actually made
Like, dude, my edibles chest is so full.
sure, but I figured that the best way to find out was to just move on to the next reaction. For this
Bro, what am I supposed to do with this?
the isomatopic acid to make the nordihydrocapsaicin. What was also nice was that if this worked, I wouldn't have to only rely on fancy tests to verify it, and in theory, I could just taste it and see if it burned my mouth off. The problem with this step, like I mentioned earlier, was that I wasn't sure how to do it. Thankfully, though, the paper that I used for the hydrogenation might have had the answer. Because the method that I had heard of before, and I think it's used in biochemistry. However, their hydrogenation seemed to work, so I trusted them. And
Dead
I
stink
decided
bugs.
to give it a try. I had learned from my past, though, and I decided to not just do it with everything that I could. This was because I had a lot more than I expected to have at this point, and it seemed like I could get away with using half. This way, if I completely screwed up, I'd at least have one more try. But anyway, to get started, I got a little glass, and I added 15 mils of a solvent called DMF. And I added 0.76 grams of my isomatopic acid.
I'm a little stuck here on what to do.
Something called Divia. This was a base, and it was supposed to react with the
Molten
isomatopic
gold
acid. Be sure to
or
filter
brass.
what's the appropriate form, and this was important for the next step. To make sure that it all reacted, I let it stir for several minutes, and then I added another chemical called HAT2.
I know what I need to do.
This one should be
I need to build a forge somewhere.
slow though, and I had to leave it for about 30 minutes. During this time, it slowly got
You know what? I'll build it right here.
and I wasn't exactly sure if that was a good thing. But either way, when I came back to it, it was still going to have the last ingredient. This was the vanillin hydrochloride, and I was still really hoping that I'd actually made it. The moment that it was added, it should have been reacting with some of the Divia and turning into free-base vanillamine. This should
I know I need one of these.
that isononanoic acid molecule
A seared tank. I'm actually gonna grab 2 of these.
The vanillylate would be combining with the isononanoic acid. It would then kick off that extra junk from the earlier step, and the final result would be my precious spicy molecule called dihydrocapsaicin. This reaction was supposed to be relatively slow though, and I was gonna have to leave it here for a while. So just for good measure and to protect it from oxygen, I filled the flask with some argon. I then covered the top, and I left it there overnight. When I came back to it about 20 hours later, it looked like it had gotten a bit lighter. I was concerned when I taste looked like something had happened. Either way, at the time, I wanted to separate out the dihydrocapsaicin and to see if the reaction had actually worked. So I started the fun process by preloading a separatory funnel with some hexanes and dumping everything in. These two things didn't really mix together, and then I added a bunch of saturated salt water. I then did the extraction in the usual way, where I took it off the stand and shook it around. The idea here was to pull all of the dihydrocapsaicin into the hexanes, and then to wait for the layers to separate.
Oh, okay.
This was about 10 minutes later, and most of it should have been extracted into the upper hexane layer, so I drained away the lower one. Left in the funnel was just the hexanes, but there was also a bunch of other junk that made it look really dirty. The hexanes itself, though, was relatively clean, and I dumped it all into a beaker. I then put that lower layer back into the separatory funnel, and I extracted it 4 more times. I did this just to really make sure that I got everything out, and I transferred them all to the same beaker.
It's a small forge, but
Pretty clean, but the extraction probably pulled out some other junk as well.
it should get
I
it
was gonna
done.
get this out, and to do this, I had to put it all back into a separatory funnel. I then added some dilute hydrochloric acid, which would pull out any basic impurities. After shaking it around, I
thought
drained it away, and I repeated
seared
the same
window.
washing. I then did another washing with dilute base, and another with saturated salt water. When I was eventually done, I felt that it was looking pretty good. So I poured it all back into a beaker, and I added some anhydrous sodium sulfate to dry it. When it looked like it was done, I poured it into another beaker, and now in theory, I just had to get rid of the hexanes. This would hopefully leave me
Where's
with
the-
dihydrocapsaicin, and I was honestly pretty nervous. Over the next few hours,
The tank.
hexane slowly disappeared, and I ended up transferring it to a smaller beaker. I then kept going, and in my opinion, it was looking really promising. However,
Did I not get the seared tank?
all I ended up with was a very small amount of oily junk, and it was at this moment that I was really happy I only used half of my vanillylate. Like every other time, I initially didn't know what had gone wrong, and my biggest fear was that I hadn't actually made the vanillylate. However, it turned out that it was just entirely my fault. The procedure clearly said that a salt
I have it.
acetate was used, but this was just a general procedure, and I decided to swap it to hexanes. I did this because the
Whatever.
hexanes had worked really well with the isononanoic acid, and I figured that it would work well again. However, I was completely wrong, and I was punished for my assumption. So now it was time to try it again, except using ethyl acetate, and I only had one chance to make it work. I set the reaction up in the exact same way as before, and when it was done 20 hours later, I added it to a separatory funnel. I also washed it with a bit of water to make sure that I transferred everything.
So there's all of this. I'm gonna put that in there and that in there. Transmutation tablet is complete. I think I built the forge right. I don't know. I can't remember if that's how you're supposed to build it or if you're supposed to build it another way, but I know that. Okay, so the gold ores are actually melting.
If this were actually more dihydrocapsaicin, it definitely wasn't pure. So I had to come up with a way to purify it, and what I came up with, it was very similar to what I had done for the isononanoic acid.
Molten gold, 28 ingots. Okay. Now I need a sacrifice. You'll do just fine. Mermaid dog. Yep. Now there is blood. And that can become molten pig iron. So molten pig iron, liquefied emerald, molten iron.
And to do this, I decided to use CO2 gas. I used a pipette to shoot in a gentle stream of it, and this should have been slowly acidifying the solution. Almost immediately, I started seeing some white stuff appearing.
Let's see, liquefied emerald.
At this point, I was 95% sure that I had actually made the Nordihydrocapsaicin, and it was also looking like it was nice and pure. Over the next 30 minutes, more of it slowly appeared, but it also started changing color. I was really hoping that it would become a white powder, but it was instead looking like a brown goo. A few minutes later, the solution had become completely clear, and I pulled out a and I had to smear it on the beaker to get it off.
A block of emerald.
Water, and I added some ethyl acetate. I used the CO2 pipette to shoot around.
Also, guys, when I start uploading videos regularly again, I'm gonna use an editing software. And when I start to use it, I want you guys to take a guess what airsoft, or not airsoft, editing software I'm gonna use.
It also seemed to take out some of the color, and I ran it through the same filter a few times. When I was eventually done, it was definitely a much lighter
Molten
color.
pig iron.
I also had twice the amount of solvent though, because I had to wash the funnel a few times with some extra ethyl acetate. Either way, this wasn't an issue, because the next step was to get rid of the solvent. This would hopefully leave me with nearly pure Nordihydrocapsaicin, and I turned on the hot plate. After a while, there was barely anything in the beaker, and like before, I transferred it all to a vial.
molten iron.
I then continued evaporating it by blowing on it, and again, it eventually stopped decreasing. This time, though, it was actually an amount that was possible to make. It was also definitely way cleaner, but it looked like there was still some salt.
Just in case that wasn't enough emerald.
I stored it under a vacuum, and this was what I had a few days later. It was a much thicker oil, and I couldn't help but think that it kind of looked spicy. It was also barely anything really around a crab, and it was honestly hard to believe that I spent months trying to make this. At this point, though, I still wasn't completely sure that this was actually Nordite hydrocapsaicin. I was honestly tempted to just taste it.
Block of
But I
copper.
didn't really want to potentially poison myself. It was much smarter to first try
Be
it
not
with
alarmed.
my new and fancy NMR machine. So, I carefully loaded a sample into it, and I nervously waited for the result. When it eventually popped up on the screen, I was extremely relieved by what I saw. It was almost the
Pig iron
exact
ingot.
thing I was hoping for, and it basically confirmed that I did have Nordite hydrocapsaicin. However, I still felt that to be 100% sure,
Pig iron.
taste it. All I needed, though, was an extremely small amount, because if this were Nordite hydrocapsaicin, it would be really potent.
How many rotten fleshes? So that I can.
So I guess it's up to try it.
That should be enough, right, to create the rest of the pig iron.
Yeah. It's definitely spicy. Took a couple seconds to sense anything. Yeah, okay. I was expecting to be much happier when I realized it was spicy. It's kind of just painful. Oh god. So, is that from the spice? Oh god. Oh no.
I may need more emerald.
Oh, it doesn't feel good.
That's probably what it is. It's probably needing more emerald.
Definitely. I can confirm that's spicy.
Illuminati.
It worked.
For portable bridge or quick bridge or something.
With that all confirmed, I could finally try making my hot sauce, which was now almost 2 years in the making. To get started with this, the first thing that I needed were some ingredients, and most hot
You can
sauces
barely
use
see the
chili
emeralds in there
peppers.
anymore, but
However, chili
it's
peppers
there.
are spicy, and it would kind of defeat the purpose if I used them. I was instead gonna have to make it from something that was completely unspicy, and I decided to just go with roasted red peppers. For the recipe, I wanted it to be as simple as possible, and I started by adding 2 of the peppers. Then on top of this, I threw in some onions, a small piece of garlic, and some salt. I kind of just made up this recipe, and I'm normally pretty horrible at cooking, but I felt like this was so simple that it couldn't possibly be bad. But anyway, what I had to do next was blend it for a couple minutes. When I eventually felt that it looked nice and liquidy, I turned it off. I then opened it up, and I was pretty happy with what I had. It actually looked like a hot sauce, and it smelled pretty good as well. Right now, though, it was still completely unspicy, and what I had to do next was add the Nordite hydrocapsaicin. Adding it as that thick oil, though, would have been really hard, and I first had to dissolve it in some ethanol. So, I added a bunch of 94% ethanol, and I mixed it around until it all dissolved.
I'm still trying to figure this shit out.
When I was eventually done, it was way goopier than I thought it would be, and I also had no idea how much to use. Based on almost nothing, though, I felt that half of it would be a good amount, and I just went ahead and shot it all in. And I've decided to just put a bunch of it on chicken wing. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
How do I do this again?
It's not as bad. Honestly, it's pretty good. It's like right on that threshold of being completely inedible. I think I have to finish this one, right? You know what? Go for these. Well, it's definitely like a chicken wing hot sauce job. Honestly, in terms of flavor, I rate it like 7.5, which is pretty good. In terms of spiciness, a 7 could be worse. Okay, so it had apparently all worked out, and I was actually able to turn plastic gloves into hot sauce. Or I mean, technically plastic gloves and vanilla, which I honestly think is even better. Also, this was something that I've been wanting to do since I started this channel, and I'm really glad that I was finally able to do it. For now, though, I think I need a break from doing so much organic cam.
So I was doing it wrong, okay.
Like turning wood into
Oh, this is old. So old.
The project ended up taking way longer than I thought, and I think it took about 4 months to put it all together. So, I really want to give a big thanks to all my patrons for making long project like this possible, and to Micro Center for sponsoring this video. If you haven't already heard about Micro Center, they're a great resource for tech, DIY, and just computer stuff in general. They have a huge array of parts and peripherals, and they sell almost anything you'd ever need. Whether you're looking to get into 3D printing, upgrade your computer, fly a drone, or to just do your own custom stuff. They also have physical collections, so you can actually go in store and see exactly what you're buying. They also offer a really useful tool on their website if you're looking to build your own PC from scratch. One of the most annoying things is trying to figure out what is compatible, and this makes it really easy to put something together that you know will actually work. On top of this, they also offer a service where they can assemble the whole thing for you. But anyway, with that being said, I definitely recommend checking out Center. Right now, they're also offering a
Drop that XP bottle, that shit's mine.
128 gig flash drive and a micro SD card.
XP tree.
Also, link in the description to get a coupon code, which you can then trade in store for the drive and the SD card.
So I was right to put the faucets here.
This video is finally done. As usual, a big thanks goes out to all my supporters on Patreon. Everyone who supports me can see all my new videos at least 24 hours before I post them to YouTube. You'll also get access to all the old videos that I
Bro, what the heck, man? Come on.
Support me with $5 or more. You'll get your name at the end like you see here.
Oh. Man, why did this take me forever to learn?
Sweating, covered in sauce. My mouth hurts. This constant back and forth, though, made it so that I absolutely didn't trust it anymore, and I became constantly worried that its nice and slightly gray solution. At this point, though, the reaction wasn't quite done yet, and I was going to have to let it stir like this for a bit longer. So, instead of waiting, I went and got a beaker, and I added about 180 mils of water. Then after that, I dumped in 20 grams of sodium hydroxide drain cleaner, and I turned off the stirring, and I waited for it to fully dissolve. When this eventually happened, I had a nice and clear solution, and at this point, it had been about 15 minutes, so I went back to my reaction, which now should have been done, and I started pouring all of this into it. This strongly basic solution was then quenching the reaction, and it was destroying any sodium borohydride or acid that remained. For whatever reason, it also caused the whole thing to clear up quite a bit, and I started noticing little drops of something oily appearing on the side of the flask. But moving on, what I had to do next was get all of the ethanol that I hopefully made out of this mixture of chemicals. According to the paper, this was also relatively easy, and apparently, all I had to do was some more distillations. So I just immediately got started with that by getting rid of the water dish, and then I quickly added a stopper, a fractional column, and another stopper, and I put together pretty much the same setup that I just did for the acetic acid. I then cranked up the heating, and it wasn't long before the first stuff started coming over at around 35°C, which I assumed was that oily junk that I saw before. More specifically, though, I was pretty sure that this was all something called dimethyl sulfide, which was supposed to be a major side product in this reaction. The only unfortunate part was that it was also supposed to smell absolutely
I smell
horrible,
blood.
but at such a low boiling point, I figured that it would be removed pretty easily.
Ah,
Instead,
Illuminati.
I then just kept collecting it.
Tis
until the
ready.
temperature suddenly started spiking.
Need more
And when
blood.
it eventually got to about 80°C, I swapped the flask for a
More
fresh
pig
one.
iron.
This was because at this point, if there were any ethanol in there, this was when it would start coming over. The only tricky part was that it wasn't going to be coming over as pure ethanol, and it would
Gold titanium alloy?
of ethanol
No
and
way,
water.
dude. No way, no way, no way, no
This
way.
in turn meant that to get all of the ethanol, I was also going to have to collect all of the
Dude,
water
no
that was
way.
in there, which was around 200 mils.
What's up,
For the
Enderman?
next couple hours, the volume in the flask slowly rose. At the same time, the amount in the main flask slowly went down. A bunch of solid stuff started forming, and this was all just junk from the reaction that was being left behind. Going back to the other flask, though, it did eventually get to the point that it was around 200 milliliters, and right when this happened, I turned off the heating. I then quickly
Block of gold titanium alloy.
what I had now was at least in theory around 5% ethanol, which I thought was pretty exciting. However, just by looking at it
There
and
we go.
seeing all of the little oil drops that were still somehow floating around,
35.
it was obvious that I was going to have to clean it a bit more. So I decided to do another distillation, except this time I would use a much more
Pig
efficient
iron.
fractional column,
Pig
which
iron.
would hopefully give me a better separation of ethanol and water. I then just went ahead and cranked up the heating, and I basically did the same thing as before, where I rejected everything that came over below 80°C.
Oh yeah, that's
The
right.
major
Blood.
difference this time, though, was that I wasn't going to be collecting all the
Coagulated
water,
blood.
and I was actually going to try
Running
to leave
flash.
behind as much as possible by pulling off the flask
Really?
the moment that the temperature
That's it?
got to 100°C. So that was exactly what I did, and then I very carefully transferred everything that I got to a little vial, and at this point, I was pretty happy with how things were going. This was because, assuming that the reaction had worked, what I had now should have been relatively clean ethanol. To fully confirm this, though, I was going to have to run it through my NMR, so that was what I did. And well, it told me that it wasn't super pure, but it was for sure ethanol. To get the concentration, I then did another test by putting a few drops of the ethanol onto something known as a refractometer, and when I looked into it, it Instead of
win
getting
this
a nice and
round.
clean ethanol smell, it was almost unbearably sulfury with a horrible rotten cabbage stench. I also almost immediately knew that this was all coming from residual dimethyl sulfide, which was somehow able to make it through the distillations, and I was honestly getting a bit worried that this might end up being a problem. At the same time, though, I felt that it was probably fine and that it could be easily removed with some more distilling, and instead, I decided to focus on how well this reaction had worked. I mean, the yield wasn't even close to the 93% in the paper, and it was more like 48% because they didn't fully isolate it like I did. But overall, I still really liked the process, and I liked that it was relatively simple and easy. So I decided to just keep going with it, and to use it to convert the rest of the
Let's
acetic
see, and then
acid
whatever's
that
not
was made,
used, I'll put
which was about
in
89
the
milliliters.
MS table.
The only
Or
problem with this
Project
plan, though,
E.
is that if I were to just repeat exactly what I did, I would have had to do it 10 more times, which sounded absolutely horrible. This is especially because it would have taken at least 10 more days of work, and to avoid this, I ended up just scaling everything up by buying a brand new 5-liter flask. I then did the exact same reaction as before, except with way more of everything, and the only real difference this time was that cooling it was a bit more difficult. When the reaction was eventually done, it also looked really interesting, and it was kind of mesmerizing to look at, and it was a bit sad when I had to quench it by dumping in the solution of sodium hydroxide. But either way, after this, I then did the distillation
Oh,
to get
yeah.
out the water, except this time, instead of immediately doing a second distillation, I poured it all into a different flask. This was because, even on this ridiculously large scale, I was only able to process half of the acetic
See.
acid, and
I'm gonna keep
moving
throwing
on,
rotten flesh in
I was gonna
here.
have to convert the other half that still remained. So, that was exactly what I did, and when I was eventually done the reaction and distillation, I took everything that I got, and I combined it with the stuff from the first half. This way, I would be able to distill both of them at the same time, which was just a bit more efficient than doing them separately. And when I was done, a couple hours later, I had what looked like a pretty decent amount of 80% ethanol. I then took everything that I got, and I carefully poured it all into a fresh bottle, and in total, it ended up being just over 80 milliliters. I then brought back the roughly 6 mils that I got from the first run, which, together with this, was now nearly 90 mils, and this was way more than I ever expected to get, and I was feeling pretty happy about it. The only problem was that right now, it was all still nowhere near drinkable, because it all smelled terrible, and it likely tasted like horribly rotten cabbage. As I mentioned earlier, though, I
All
felt
the
that
blood's
this was
gone, but
relatively easy to get rid of,
it'll come
and I
back
would just
because
have to
I'm
combine
gonna keep
everything
throwing this
and
in
do
it.
one final distillation. However, just like everything else in this project, that absolutely wasn't the case, and even though I included a bunch of copper, which was supposed to help remove sulfur compounds, the final result that I got was still far from good. That smells pretty bad.
XP.
I mean, it was definitely better, but it was still nowhere near drinkable. And to get rid of this stubborn crap, it was looking like I was just gonna have to keep distilling it over and over. So, that was exactly what I did. And what I did as well was filter it each time through a mixture of activated charcoal and ion exchange resin, which was basically just a deconstructed Brita water filter, and I think it helped. Overall, though, not only did this whole process turn out to be really time-consuming and tedious, it was also not very efficient. This was because to make any significant improvement,
Let's see,
I
pig iron.
sacrificed quite a bit of the initial stuff that came over at ADC. This in turn meant that I lost more and more with every distillation, whereby the fourth one, I barely had any left.
I keep taking it in ingot form.
Everything that I was collecting now was coming over in the very narrow range of 80 to
'Cause why not?
C, which told me that it was quite pure. There was also a very good chance that I'd finally gotten rid of that horrible smell, and that all of this stuff here was actually drinkable, which I thought was pretty exciting. It was then only 5 minutes later, when I was getting really close to being done, except what I had collected at this point was honestly a really sad amount of liquid. I mean, compared to what I had started with, this was basically nothing, and in hindsight, I really should have avoided any method involving sulfur. On the bright side, though, at least from what I could tell, it was looking like I somewhat managed to salvage things, and at this point, it was done. So I swapped out the vial. Now, all that there was left to do was to see how it smelled, and I was honestly kind of nervous and worried that it would be terrible, and that I would have to keep distilling it until I basically had nothing. That's perfect. Except that thankfully wasn't the case. I mean, there was still a very slight hint of something else, but other than that, it basically smelled like pure ethanol, and when I ran to the NMR,
I'm gonna wait for all that blood to go away, and then I'm gonna
that massive impurity that was here was now just an
take whatever pig iron I can get.
And when I compared it to an NMR of some ethanol that I bought at the store, it basically looked the same. I then tested the concentration using the refractometer, which told me that it was about 68%, and it was surprising to see that it was somehow lower than before. With all that being said, though, I was now finally done, and after what was probably way too much effort, it was looking like I had successfully turned a gallon of children's glue into some drinkable alcohol. Finally did it. What a sad amount. At this point, there was also, of course, only one thing left to do, which was to taste it, and to see if all of this effort was worth it. So that was what I had to do
man.
next, except as a quick warning,
Been
I
going
should
at this for
be
2
clear
hours
that
now.
anything that I make is always at my own risk, and even if it seems fine based on the
Alright, there you go.
tests, there could always be
Can all
something
be thrown in there.
horrible stuff in there.
Leak all this pig iron out onto this
Finally time to see how it was.
ingot mold.
I was honestly feeling a bit nervous. I just have to, this is a go ahead and try.
And that's 21 pig iron ingots. Okay. I need to set up shop here. And since okay, well no termites can come here because it's a relatively small island, and I made sure there was no such things as termites being able to spawn here. I could totally build a wooden shack. I could though, but I won't. Let's see.
I think it's totally drinkable if you have nothing else.
I'm gonna set up shop here. Let's see here. We're gonna have crystal furnace, crystal chests. Actually, no, we're gonna have 2 of these. Plenty of light. and Bill, obviously,
My final project in the
because we're
series,
gonna need it.
where I try to turn hair into alcohol. This is actually a project that I mentioned over a year ago, and I just wanted to take a second to say that this whole time I have been working on it, and I'm hoping to finish it very soon. I should also say that the same goes to all of the other human projects that I've mentioned over years, like making magnets from scratch, graphene aerogel, carbon nanotubes, liquid helium, and
Crafting table, obviously.
in fact, although I haven't been posting much, I've actually
We're gonna need these.
projects at the same time, and spending pretty much all of my waking hours on them. And at this point,
Plenty of these.
my brain is getting close to being overloaded with information. Despite my brain being fried though, I'm still able to keep up with the latest news in science, and with what's happening around the world in general, thanks to Crown News. The sponsor of this video Crown News is an independent app and website created by a former NASA engineer that is dedicated to helping you think critically about the
What?
information you consume. More specifically, though, Crown News does this by
Once again, I'm not finding
and
a single thing.
tests, which will allow you to see the potential bias in the story and to compare it across many media outlets. For example, I recently found a story on Crown News
I already made that.
NASA's mission to asteroid Bennu.
Why is it not showing up?
Most of the essential building blocks of life suggest that life on
Whatever else.
might have arisen from an asteroid impact. This type of discovery can be quite controversial, though, as
How did I not even see it?
a lot of room for potential bias, except for Crown News. I found that this wasn't really a problem. This was because I was able to see the story
Learned.
from more of a bird's eye view, where I could scan over the many different headlines from various outlets, and I could
I thought it just wouldn't show up because
how factually accurate they were.
it just wouldn't show up, but no, it turns out that, you know. Alright, crystal chests, let's go ahead and shove those in there, shove this in here. Learned.
Which highlight stories that I might be missing, and I found that it really helps me avoid getting stuck in any information bubble. With all that being said, though, I definitely feel that Crown News has given me a much more balanced perspective, and I really recommend checking them out. For a limited time, you can also get 40% off their unlimited Vantage plan, which works out to be about $5 per month, by going to crown.news/lastread by scanning my QR code. But yeah, that's about it. So thanks again to Crown News for sponsoring this video.
Let's see.
Oh, wait, also, I forgot to say, we made this t-shirt specifically for this video, and it's going to be available from 2 weeks. So if you want to have my face on a t-shirt and with me as a bartender serving some amazing blue alcohol, you have 2 weeks to pick one up. Now that's actually it.
crystal furnaces. I'd say shop is pretty set up. Okay. Now I'm gonna head over, collect all these experiences. That alloy is gonna be useful. Alright, where's our... I'm gonna store metal templates in here. Let's see here. Part builder. Tool rod pattern. Tough rod. Tough binding. Pickaxe head. Shovel head. Axe head. All the things I can think of. Large plate pattern. Pan. Whiteboard. A chisel head. I can't remember if I made that one already. Oh well. Let's see, put this one back. Oh shoot. A hot dog? You had to come on my stream to ask me that. I guess. I got gold, about 25 ingots worth. Shoot, I probably need sand patterns instead of wood. Right? Blank casts. Molten aluminum brass. Molten gold. 288 MB. Okay. I don't even know how much gold's in here. Shoot. I don't even know how many of these I'm even going to be able to make. I'm going to have to throw a bunch of gold blocks in there. How many of these do I have? There's 42 blank patterns left. how many of these did I actually use? Okay, so how many spaces is here? So there's 12 spaces, so 9. And then you got 12, which is 21, 22 molds. I'm gonna make 22 blank golden molds. That's gonna use up a lot of resources. I'm gonna have to put gold in there. It's got a high melting point. Unlike emeralds, which is, they take forever to liquefy, but at least my forge can melt them. That's more than enough. It should be at least. I hear those cave sounds. They're not scaring me. I promise you, they are not scaring me at all. I'm totally not peeing my pants right now. Shoot. I only got 13 molds right now, or blank casts. It's a casting table. Tool forge. Tool station. That's probably what I need. Hold on. No, it's a stencil table. Well, shoot, how do I get... Okay, this one might confuse me a little bit. I'm still new to this whole Tinker's construct. You would think molten gold would be the same color as molten iron, red and hot, but nah, it just looks like liquid yellow. Okay. Am I able to put stencils on here? No. You can only put stencils on wood. Ketchup. But y'all, look at my obsidian golem. Doesn't he look like a worthy protector? Wait, are you telling me this thing only spews out experience orbs at nighttime? That's a pretty dope thing to have in an experience tree. You know, I was gonna just straight up... Oh, I already learned it. Oh, tool forge. Okay, then if I have the tool forge, then
something that's commonly used when working with enzymes, and it helps keep the pH at a specific level. This is important because enzymes are very sensitive to pH, and they work most efficiently in a certain range. The
I'm still new to this whole thing, so you're gonna have to bear with me for just a second while I figure this shit out.
very easy and common method is to use citric acid and sodium citrate. Both of these are common food additives, and I was able to easily find them at a local store. I also found a calculator for making this butter online, and all I had to do was use the I wanted, the concentration, and the total volume I was going for.
Part builder.
Enjoy, because you must be pretty hungry.
Think.
Citric acid and sodium citrate. I started around and into this, I poured the enzyme concentrate from the floor, which brought it up to 3 liters. I tried to leave as much of the cornstarch in the beaker, but some of it was still able to make it in. Now after all this, the enzyme solution is finally ready, and all I had to do was add the toilet paper. When it was all in there, I mixed it around as quickly as I could, and I mostly covered the top. I then took this whole thing and put it into a set just slightly above 50 C. This was the optimal
I'm gonna see if Cobalt will work.
and I had to leave it in there for 2 days. Over this time, the enzyme should be attacking the cellulose and slowly turning it into glucose. When it comes to cellulase, though, it usually isn't just one enzyme doing everything, and it's actually a group of a few different ones, all working together. The first one is endocellulase, and it breaks the bond between the fibers and within the fibers themselves. By replacing base stuff, these bonds are broken, the ones that remain were a lot easier to access. The liberated fibers were then attacked by the endocellulase, which degrades them from their ends. So what it does is bind to the end and travel along the fiber and chop off groups of 2 or 4 glucose units. These much smaller sugar units are then finally broken down into glucose by another enzyme called cellobiase. When I checked on it the next day, the paper had all floated to the top. I then stirred it, and compared to before, it was definitely a lot thinner and fluffier. The cellulase had clearly done something to it, and so far, it was looking a lot better than I expected.
Well, I don't know how to use the part builder.
I checked on it again about half an hour later, and it had separated where most of it stayed floating. The stuff at the top was slowly falling down, though, and over the next day, most of it ended up at the bottom.
Shoot.
I left it until the next day until the 2:48-hour mark, and this was when I had
I don't know what to do, man.
I
Oh.
started with.
Okay, maybe I may have to read one of those books that I lost when I died long before I even started this stream. I was like,
Somewhere just above 50 C.
Tinker's Weaponry, Materials, and You. Okay, recipes.
Impressed with how fine and fluffy it was, and like I said before, I really didn't
I want to know about materials.
of what I started with. However, that's almost just entirely speculation on my part, and not really based on much. When it eventually got to 35 C, it was time to add the yeast.
Okay,
When it comes to fermenting sugar to make alcohol, there were a lot
my only issue is trying to get the
have their own pros and cons. However, in my case, I wasn't doing anything very fancy, so I just went with common brewer's yeast, which can tolerate any
My only issue is trying to get the shape into the
This was why I didn't use a bacterial cellular yeast, because then I would have had to readjust the pH.
the shape into the fucking thingy, you know, the whatchamacallit. Can we get to the recipes, please? Wait. Okay. Materials in you. I'm gonna look at recipes. Right? If you ever find yourself without this book, a new one is simple to make. Other books can be made from this one as well. Okay. Okay. This is not helping at all. I genuinely... Maybe I need to put stones in it or something. I knew cobalt maybe would not work. What the heck? Experience night. So these can all just be turned back into gold. Because I think I know what I did and fucked it up. Yeah, so I get all my gold back. Stones. Pickaxe. Tool rod handle. Pattern. Stone pickaxe head. Stone tool rod. Shard. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour that around the stick. And we got tool rods. So these are gonna be parts. A pickaxe head. So we got a pig head now. And we have that. What's this? Mana regen.
I also swapped
Okay.
but the stuff coming over was still pretty murky because it was taken up from the solid junk that was carried up the mountain. This rod was definitely turning out to be way messier than I expected. I was hoping that this stuff would be nice and clear, but that obviously wasn't the case, and I was going to have to recycle the stuff. It wasn't a total mess or anything. The alcohol coming over was definitely a lot more concentrated than it started at. It just didn't look very nice. However, it was still mostly just water, and it had other volatile stuff mixed in as well. To really clean it up and to properly concentrate it, I'd have to do a second, or maybe even a third distillation. The reason that the stuff left over was mostly water was because
I don't know
a very low concentration of ethanol. In my first
what to
tasting
do
session, it was probably
about that.
something like 2% ethanol, and that meant that it was 98% water. At the very beginning,
Electrum,
the stuff
no.
was probably close to 50 or 60% ethanol, but after that, it quickly ended.
Iron, maybe?
This happened because as the ethanol was boiled off, that 2% concentration was constantly decreasing,
No.
and the relative amount of water was constantly increasing. This caused more and more water vapor to be let off from the ethanol, and the stuff that I was receiving eventually became almost entirely water. This meant that I couldn't really trust the thermometer because the temperature was heavily skewed to the boiling point of water. However, though it was well above the boiling point of ethanol, which is around 78 C, there was still some ethanol coming over once it was up at around 98. Usually, temperature is the best thing to go by, and because I couldn't use it here, I had to go with the more traditional way. So, to know how close it was to being done, I just occasionally tasted what was coming over and tried to tell if there was any ethanol in it. As I said before, though, along with the water
You can get a bone large plate.
stuff with it, which doesn't really make it taste very good. It wasn't
Hold
as
on.
bad as I expected it would be, but I did end up spitting out most of what I tried. At some point, I couldn't taste anything but ethanol, and I continued collecting it for several more minutes. After this, I considered it done, and pretty much all of the
What?
ethanol should have been extracted. Everything left in the boiling flask was just
How in the heck do I do it then? How do I get that?
down the drain. This was one of the rare times where it's okay for me to do this, because unlike a lot of the chemistry that I often do, there was nothing toxic or dangerous in this. This was everything that I collected, which was not very pretty to say the least, and like I said before, was just going to be recycled. So, I reattached the now empty flask, and I poured them in. I then added more of the other stuff, and I set it all up in the oven. This time, I was super careful with the heating, and there wasn't a disaster. This time, because it was going to be a lot slower, I expected the ethanol coming over to be more concentrated, and I started with just a small vial. However, after a bit, I realized that I was going to
Oh, how the frick do I get a bone large plate?
Then, just like the other one, I did it until a taste test told me there wasn't any more alcohol coming over. And when it was done, I emptied the flask, filled it with fresh stuff, and just kept it going. It was all going really well all the way up to the last batch, and everything that I had was nice and clear. However, for some reason, it of course decided to go crazy right when I was close to the end, and it spit over a bunch of that white junk. This wasn't a huge deal though, because I planned to do a second distillation anyway, but it was still kind of sad. This whole distillation process was way slower than I expected, and it took me a few days to finish. At this point though, it was finally done, so I took away the mason jar, and I dumped out all the stuff in the flask. What I had now was less than
Arrowhead,
10% of the volume that I started with, so it was
fletching,
more concentrated than before. As a quick test,
pig iron tough binding.
I decided to try
Oh
lighting
no,
it on
wait.
fire.
Bow limb,
Still wasn't concentrated enough to ignite, and
bowstring.
I honestly wasn't very surprised by this though, and now, to actually find out its concentration, I poured it all into a grad cylinder. I then dropped it in a dropper, which will form at different heights, depending on the density of the liquid. When there's more ethanol, the density will be lower.
Oh, this is unfortunate. I hate this so much. I don't know what to do.
This was way higher than I ever imagined getting for this project, and 20% alcohol isn't bad at all. I was hoping to
Oh, it says it costs 8 material.
but based on this, it's telling me that there's like 50. But anyway, at this point,
Silly me, what the frick?
toilet paper line. I could have stopped here. However, based on the taste test that I had to do, this to make it even remotely tolerable, I had to distill it again to get rid of all the solid junk and to purify it. Besides that,
There.
there were a lot of other molecules.
We got large plating now. Jeez, why did that take forever to freaking do? Okay, so we got tool rod, ingot, pickaxe, and plate. So the tool rod's done, pan pattern, broad axe, excavator, hammerhead. So we got a stone excavator, hammerhead, stone pan, so those are going to be reorganized now. Pour gold. Hammerhead. I got the hang of it. This is good. Once again, I'm not cheating, it is just my armor and I can fly with it. Okay. Wide board. Tool pattern was already used. Scythe head wasn't. Chisel head wasn't. Tool binding wasn't. Replace. Stones here. Sign. Scythe head. Chisel. Okay, so we got more stone fragments, but more importantly we got these. This is looking good for me actually. I'm using Tinker's Construct. And now I'm getting all of these gold molds, these casts. Let's see. Tough. I already got pickaxe head. That can be moved over there. Shovel head. I already did plating. That can be moved. Knife blade. Okay. So I'm gonna place this here. Tough binding. Shovel head. There's more stone fragments. I'm glad there's more than enough gold in there. Alright, tough binding. Okay, there's more than enough gold in there. Okay. More stuff made out of stone for me to use. Tough rod, knife blade, tough binding. Okay. Axe head. Let's see. All the tiny pieces count. Every small piece counts. So last to go was that. Okay, good to know. Next 4 pieces are blades. So here we go. Stone shards. Alright, we got this little bit cut out. Alright. All of these pieces go in here. Alright, let's see. We have used... Okay, so the last piece to go is the sword blade, okay, so last 6 pieces to go. A fletching pattern. Wait, you need like... Okay. String, limb. You can make limbs, but you can't make... Yeah, no, you need like plants or something for that.
As usual, a big thanks goes out to all the supporters of Patreon. Everyone who supports me can see my videos
Or at least a string.
24 hours before I post them to YouTube. Also, everyone on Patreon can directly message me, and if you support me with $5 or more, you'll get your name at the end like you see here.
Fletching. Bowstring. Shoot. Trying to find the bows so I can look at fletching patterns. These are shurikens. Javelins. Where's their... A gear cast? Bro, what?
About 7 months ago, I saw a video
Infinity bolt.
where he attempted to follow the paper that he found online, which detailed how to make transparent wood.
Body.
The basic idea was to first treat the wood,
Bow limb.
fill it with a plastic resin. I honestly think he made a good attempt at it, but in the end,
Okay, but I'm looking for the fletching stuff.
however, I didn't think it was because he lacked the skills to do it or anything.
Feather fletching, leaf, slime. Oh, there we go. At least a feather. Fletching, get the feather.
In any case, his video was still very entertaining as usual, and it got me interested in trying it out myself. To get the highest chance of achieving though, I tracked down the exact supplies that were used in the paper. I also found a copy of the paper, which included an experimental section. It still wasn't as detailed as I deeply liked it to be, but
And
it was definitely
then shuriken pattern,
so in terms of supplies,
arrowhead.
the most important one was the wood. They used basswood from the Walnut Sword Company, and it was very easy to order online. The company itself didn't ship in Canada, so I had to get it from eBay, and it arrived a couple weeks later. It was just this big carton block though, and the paper called for 3mm slices, so I had to cut it. I read online that the easiest way to do this was with a table saw, so I tried it out. I originally didn't plan to film this, but I decided
Let's
to
see
last
here.
and because of this,
Stone bow limb,
definitely not the safest way to do
crossbow limb.
not something you should use as a reference. I wanted to get the best shot possible, but I didn't have a stand, so I had to do it from a weird angle and push the wood sideways. I'm also only using my right hand because my left one was holding my camera. At the time, I didn't really feel like this was unsafe at all, but looking back now, it doesn't look very good. But anyway, that aside, the first few cuts that I made were lengthwise ones, which went along the grain of the wood. The next ones were cut the other way, and again, it was done with poor technique. When it was done, I cleaned them all with sandpaper, and this was the result. The main difference with these cuts is the way that the grain runs across them.
Oh, you don't
Paper has a
get
diagram of this. Wood
fletching patterns or
narrow tubes,
string
so
patterns
with water and nutrients.
in gold.
Blood vessels. The exact anatomy
Okay, well at least that's simple enough.
softwood and between the that isn't really important here. I think the only thing you really need to know from this is that these tubes do exist.
Well, now how do I get a gear?
If we look closely at this piece, which was
Oh, okay.
lengthwise, there's a green line.
Well, I have all that, So put all this stone shit in here. Put all the stones in here too, because I don't know if I'll ever need them again. And then here's the necessities crafting shit. Alright, I'm gonna get a bucket and
The next step was to chemically treat this wood with a mixture of sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfite. I got the
see what this molten lava is really about.
hardware store, and I think I bought the sodium sulfite from eBay
No?
a really long time ago. I then looked
Really?
at the paper to see how much I needed of each, and I was sad to see that they just gave concentrations, but somehow no volume amount. I figured that it probably just needed enough liquid to cover all the wood, and that 500 mils would be more than enough. And now that I had a target volume, I could calculate how much I needed.
Unless.
Which came out to be about 50 grams of the sodium hydroxide and 25 grams of the sodium sulfite. So now that I actually knew how much I needed of each, I could move on to making the solution. I went ahead and pulled out
Molten iron bucket.
and I filled it with distilled water up to
Yo, actually?
400 mils. Then I turned on my stirring, added 50 grams of the sodium hydroxide, and waited for it all to dissolve.
Hold up, that's actually really useful.
Later, there was no solid left, and the solution had heated up quite a bit. So I went ahead and poured in the 25 grams of the sodium sulfite, and I waited for that to disappear as well.
Creeper jockey.
Why start with 400 mils if I did all my calculations
What?
based on 500? And the reason for this is that adding both the ingredients caused the volume to increase a bit. If I started with 500, the final volume would have been slightly above that.
That's wild, man. That's actually wild.
In theory, and especially for this, I don't think it's really a big deal.
I will never see that in Minecraft ever again. That is a one-time only thing.
Let it increase as things dissolve.
It's rare. It's more rare than seeing Notch online in his own servers now.
When the solution was ready, I also took out the stir bar because it's not going to be used for the
Not matter of fact, it's more rare than your own personal encounter with Herobrine. I'm almost betting real money on that right now.
it would probably start breaking apart. In any case, the solution was now ready, and I just needed to heat it up.
Night vision disabled.
And when it started
We did it. We got the forge going.
good pieces, I probably could have just
It's successful now, so
I decided to add them one by one, just to make sure that it didn't bubble out of control. When it was all added, it seemed relatively tame, so I turned the heat up a bit more. This was probably a mistake though, because within just a few minutes, it started boiling way too violently. It also started bubbling a lot more, and I was kind of concerned that it would get out of
unbreakable.
control.
Jeez.
Hot plate for a bit.
Super massive.
Later, I also turned the hot plate to a lower setting. Over the course of the next couple minutes, the boiling slowed down a
Well,
lot, and it
I am just gonna go ahead and say it. I'm glad that I got this forge going. So, hip hip hooray. Can't wait to see where this takes me now.
decent, so I added a bit more distilled water and I put a bowl on top. The purpose of this bowl was to help cool the
Miniature yellow heart. I don't even know where
and to help with this, I
we're even gonna obtain that, so
under ideal conditions, I would have done this all in a round bottom flask and used the condenser column above it.
that's
However, these pieces of wood were
yeah, it's not doing very well.
so I had to use the hand
Okay.
So to understand what's going on,
Let's
I need to quickly go over the basic composition of
let's yes. Okay.
the cellulose is
Coming down here and oh,
chains that are usually between 7,000
20 neutrons or piles of neutrons.
and a much shorter branch column
Okay.
between 500 and 3,000 years long.
Well,
And some other things
oh, 32. This means I'll be able to make 3 nuggets, right?
framework of the wood, but along with the
Yeah.
strength. So to increase the strength, the tree used another
I'll be able to make another ingot.
This one's even more branched than the hemicellulose, and it also has no real defined structure.
Waiting game sucks.
But it's really useful.
Yeah, no
It's used
kidding.
to cross-link and hold in place all of the long hemicellulose and cellulose fibers, and it also fills the empty space.
That advancement is the most relatable advancement I've ever seen in Minecraft. Ooh, I wonder what this alloy. You know what? I'll have to do that later. I'll have to try out some other things with that alloy later. But oh shoot. Wait, couldn't I just technically? I could technically just use this as fuel, right? That's fine. I hear you. I hear you. See, because if you really think about it, right? I'm gonna cook this fish.
When I came back the next day, I noticed that I had lost a lot of water, and this was because my bowl had dried out. This wasn't really an issue because I still had plenty of it left, but I probably should have told
I wonder how long that will stay burning.
regardless of when it was done, so I took it off the hot coal. This dark, nearly black solution that almost looked like liquid Pepsi was dumped off into another beaker. Then my now treated dark pieces of wood were washed 3 times with boiling distilled water. The purpose of these washings was to get rid of any reaction side products, as well as any sodium hydroxide or sodium
It took me 20 freaking world attempts to get the right world. And I finally got the right world. I'm just picking up this gold titanium because, bro, why am I even cooking fish, dude? My character ain't ever gonna be hungry ever again. I could just throw that out. I can run for all of eternity. But if I take this armor off and I try to exhaust myself, which I would eventually, I think the armor replenishes my hunger. Yeah, these wings also let me fly. It's not just my armor. If I'm not wearing it, I could just use the wings on my back. Also, congratulations to the people who pointed out that my skin is the Pixel Gun skin. You may have not have pointed it out while it was live, but if you pointed it out after this video was live, well, still, congrats, I mean. Gotta give you some credit, am I right? I think all metals will go in here. Oh man, I'm tired, but I don't really care. Also, nighttime was the only time that I was able to live stream because everybody else is awake during the day and all over the place and being noisy. So if you're wondering why I made this live stream right now, the exact moment I'm making it, that's why. Oh my freaking gosh. I was wondering if that thing was gonna die, because, like, I was missing, and it was getting a little bit frustrating.
In any case, the direction that it gave was to just boil it in the peroxide until the yellow color disappeared. It gave no
Man.
indication as to how long this batch would take, and it also didn't really say how to determine when the yellow color was gone.
Where's my
So
gravity
my plan was
gun?
to basically just keep
I'm bringing back a girlfriend spawner.
randomly added more peroxide
I don't want all these boyfriends over here.
There really wasn't much science to that though, and it was more or less just when I felt like the volume was too low, or when it wasn't bubbling enough. Just like the last process, this one was really slow, and it took about 5 hours for it to look like this. The ones that were cut widthwise were completely
Where in the
white,
frickin' heck is a girlfriend spawner?
on the edges. So I kept this going for another hour or so, but it didn't really seem to change, so I took it off the hot.
Because at least
I dumped out all the liquid.
I'll have both genders wandering around my house.
This was done just to get rid of as much of the peroxide as possible. Before I dumped off the water from the last washing, I took a closer look at them. This was one of the pieces that was cut widthwise.
And you can
could see my fingers through it.
romance the NPCs, but
One of the lengthwise pieces, and you couldn't see my fingers at all.
I mean,
Again, this comes down to the direction of the grain.
why would you
It's
want
here
to?
all running lengthwise, so it's perpendicular to the light that's hitting it. This causes
you
a
give
lot
the
of
guys a couple steaks and suddenly they like you. If you give the girls
on the other hand, the widthwise have their cellular
flowers,
parallel to the light, so a lot more
understandably, that's a Loch Ness monster thingy. Those islands usually
the resin that I'll be using is
have the
compatible with water.
friendly NPCs.
Get it all out. The most common way to do this normally would be to just leave it out in the air and to let it all evaporate. However,
Hold on.
that doesn't dry, it would fall straight. All of the cellulose fibers would get really densely packed together, and it would make it really hard to fill it with the resin. So instead, I used the solvent that could pick up and absorb the water, but at the same time still be compatible with the resin. The paper specifically said that they used 95% ethanol, so that's what I used, but I think it's also possible to use methanol or isopropanol. But anyway, that was about it. After I added the ethanol, I covered the top, and I let it sit in the fridge for about a day to pull out as much water as possible. Okay, so at this point the wood pieces were ready, and I just had to put the resin in them. In theory, there are many different
This
used, but the paper specifically
might
called for this one.
take a
There may
while.
be other reasons why they used it, but it seemed like the major one.
There's a mantis over there.
Which made it a lot easier to pull it into
I'm not trying to fight that thing
and I just had to mix part A with B.
because of my
So
my precious delicate ears from earlier. You guys remember. The bees make the same noise. That's why I shot that one from a distance earlier.
it was a pretty good mixture. I dumped it into another plastic cup. It doesn't really get mixed very well. So to fix this, I just dump everything into a new cup, and I leave all the potentially
This is
stuff
absurd.
in the old one. This one was
I
again
can't find one of those islands anymore. It's like I run into them a lot, but suddenly I'm gonna go look for them,
all on some paper towel.
a specific island, and then it's just it doesn't want to make an appearance anymore. It's like it just knows I'm trying to find one. I need to start marking down landmarks and coordinates and stuff.
It starts to set. So because of this, it was really important to pick all the pieces and to get them into this bowl as quickly as possible. Just letting these pieces soak in the epoxy.
Get away from me.
So this entire bowl was sealed in a vacuum chamber, and I turned on my pump. As the pressure dropped, air in both the wood and the epoxy started to get pulled out. It also caused a lot of the ethanol in the wood to evaporate.
Sea monsters, sea monsters. Why do you exist? This is absolutely crazy.
Rushed into the wood to fill the
I am trying to find a freaking
according to the paper.
a girlfriend spawner. I'm not looking to riz up any of those characters though. I just need more than one set gender of people walking on my, and that's a mantis dungeon. I'm not going in there.
After the food cycle,
You cannot pay me any amount of money to go in that Mantis dungeon. It's just not happening.
What was unfortunate though was after this, the paper wasn't super clear about the next step.
Yeah, no. I'm having absolutely zero luck. I don't like this. This is stupid. I know where one is, and then suddenly I can't find one, so... Well, if I run into another one, I'm taking it with me. So, yeah. I'm gonna keep going. XP tree is doing its job. Good. Place your first cipher trip here. Good. Oh, wait. I wonder if I can make like a mix of emerald, diamond.
Now, taking a look at the pieces, there were clearly some problems with them. As this one cured, it kind of pulled itself apart, and I think it was just because there wasn't enough epoxy in it.
Don't tell me I can't put diamonds in there now.
It was very slightly
Unless it's just not hot enough.
almost looked like it was mostly just a surface coating, and not much actually got inside. To test its strength, I tried breaking it, and it really wasn't.
Or maybe I need a bigger forge.
The epoxy still hadn't fully cured, but if enough had gotten in there, it definitely would have been better than this. In the paper, it said that the vacuum was used to both get rid of the air as well as the ethanol. However, even after the third cycle, it seemed to
I may need a bigger forge.
so I thought this might have been the problem. To fix this, I thought that it might work to do a quick pre-drying step.
Okay, time for renovations. Now, if you're asking me, already? Yeah, already.
So now again, just like before, I had to fill it up with resin. And to do this, I dumped in the
Two baby zombies. How absurd. Amateurs.
I didn't whip away any of the epoxy, and I actually added extra. Then the next day, when things were still soft, I peeled it off the dish. I also used a razor blade to cut off most of the excess stuff. And when it was done,
There's no liquid here. I don't know why I'm taking damage.
it still wasn't beautiful and uniform like what they had in the paper, but it was definitely the best result that I had so far. Now looking closer at the piece, it was still kind of soft because the epoxy hadn't fully cured. And because of this, when I peeled it off the dish, I kind of put stress into this piece, which made small tear lines. In any case,
Okay.
so just like in the last run, I put it against some text. This time, I was happy to see that it was way better, and I was actually able to read what was on the other side. I'm not sure if this is actually because my pre-drying step did it,
You know what?
and it might just be because the top of this piece is smooth. In the other runs, I took away most of the extra epoxy, and because of this,
Go all out.
the piece is this would cause it to scatter light a lot more, and it could be one of the major reasons. What was interesting though, when they covered this in the paper, was that it really had to be right against the paper to read anything. The reason for this was that because although it was transparent, it was only barely solid, and the
Let's see.
scattering a lot of the light. Now for my third run, I wanted to try it with one of the lengthwise pieces. So just like the other run, I did a quick pre-drying step, and then I did the
Shoot.
didn't really work out. I ended up asking my dad for help, and he said to just cut it freehand on the table saw. This would have been really dangerous to do one-handed like I did before, so this time I had my dad cut the pieces while I did the filming. These were all the pieces that were cut off, and this time they were a lot thinner. Instead of being between 3 and 4 millimeters, they were all between 2 and 3. I also only went with widthwise cuts this time because I wanted to get the best results possible. They were then treated.
So you really can't
Where the first step was to remove most
put like diamonds in there?
and when that was done, I treated it with the peroxide. But this time, I added
I'm
peroxide
just
slowly,
wanting to
and I
know.
started with a cold solution. I then slowly brought this to a boil, and it never ended up bubbling out of control. However, even after boiling it for almost the same amount of time, it never.
Wow, you actually really can't. Okay.
I really didn't
Well, in
washing steps.
the
Even though I washed the pieces quite well, there was still some sodium hydroxide that was stuck inside of them. However,
Tinker's construct in
pieces were a lot thinner, it was way easier to wash out all the sodium hydroxide. And because of this, there was little
the Tinker's construct in the newer modded Minecraft is
to generate oxygen gas in the wood and destroy the rest of the lignin. I'm not 100% certain about this theory, but it would explain why the pieces didn't whiten properly and why it didn't bubble very much. Unfortunately, though, while it was
it has diamonds. You can smelt diamonds in it. I don't know why I'm having trouble talking today.
heated it with just regular bleach,
I don't know what is up with me.
well, I considered splitting this batch in two and trying 2 different treatment steps, but in the end, I kind of just said screw it, and I poured in a bunch of bleach. I then turned on the hot plate, and I heated it to around 50 or 60 C. The yellow color very quickly disappeared, and then it took something like 10 minutes until it became completely white. And at this point, it was taken off the hot plate, and all the bleach was
Well, this is decent.
I was really happy with the white
Okay.
that a lot of them had fallen apart.
I'm just gonna do that.
Straight up hot bleach was obviously a little bit too rough on these pieces, so I don't think it was the best idea. What I think the best
I blank cast because why not?
after removing
I don't know why all my pages got reset again.
by soaking them in some sodium hydroxide. If that fails though, maybe
I want to get to the Tinker stuff.
or maybe just not heating it
You
all
can make.
In any case, it was then washed thoroughly with water and between
Well, I knew
I
obsidian.
let it sit in the water for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Reinforced
As much of the bleach as possible.
3.
When I felt that it was done and I didn't really smell any bleach,
Cobalt.
80% ethanol. However, almost immediately it started to get cloudy, and I think it was because the ethanol was reacting with the bleach. This ends up forming some chlorophyll.
Okay, so you can make shiny. Dense and reinforced. Okay, so you can make cobalt
In theory,
shiny.
isn't a big issue, but I did want my pieces to be as clean as possible.
Cobalt shiny. I want to throw in a mix of stuff.
And then I dumped off the ethanol and I topped it up with
Like,
fresh. In
okay,
hindsight,
so
it might have been a good idea to go back and do another water washing to get rid of the sodium acetate, but oh well. The small amount that was
we could do
present
pig
really
iron,
wouldn't affect very much.
cobalt,
When that was done, I was ready to try things out. And for my first run,
obsidian. No, we could do obsidian,
thinner pieces,
shiny,
a pre-drying step
and
made
cobalt.
sense. Also, in the meantime, I looked at the paper and I realized something
Let's see
very
what's-
significant. I focused
That's
on
it,
the
just
fact that
a
in the procedure, they said that the
stick
snap pieces
and-
looked off in the end. When I looked at the pictures, they actually kind of looked different.
Okay, so
The entire transparent piece was wood, but it's actually
shiny.
the wood's just in the middle, and it's surrounded by a bunch of plastic. In my mind, though, they got
Cobalt.
really thick, but still really uniform
The forge should be hot enough to melt that.
some sort of mold.
Okay, yeah, no, it's melting.
So I decided to try this out,
Uh,
and I went and got the silicone molds that I used for my baking soda video. Using scissors, I cut out a few sections to make sample molds.
that's good. That's good that it's melting.
For the first run, I used the largest piece
I want it to melt.
I just put it in the vacuum and covered it with epoxy. Then I turned on the vacuum, and the difference was immediately evident. With the smaller chamber and the faster pump, it got to a vacuum way quicker.
Shiny alloy is melting a lot faster.
As it continued, it got kind of
So we
crazy.
got molten shiny,
A lot of splashing.
and then we're about to get molten cobalt. So
Otherwise it'll all get caked on and kind of ruin the chamber. In any case, this was what it looked like when it was done, and it was probably the best run that I had so far. I let it cure overnight.
Okay, so let's put cobalt on the bottom. Let's get
On top of this,
a tool rod cast and a shovel.
nonetheless, though, it was still a pretty nice piece, and it was definitely transparent. I cut off the extra epoxy with a hacksaw.
Okay, we got that.
Unfortunately, even though it was quite clear, I couldn't because I think the epoxy was spacing it up from the paper. And as we saw before, taking it just a little bit away from the paper can make things too easy to see.
Now I meant to put shiny on there.
This was pretty good, but when I let it cure for another day,
So we got
it
shiny,
ended up cracking itself.
a shiny metal.
In my mind, the major reason for this was that the copper I didn't
Let's
have already covered
go with
properly,
this
so I
shovel.
tried to do something about this. I did another run, and like before,
Shiny shovel, dense reinforced.
I tried to teach you poking it back down, but it didn't really work at all. What I ended up doing was waiting about an hour for it to harden a little.
Shiny.
On top of this, I poured some fresh epoxy. I think I added too much though, so you know
Alright,
syringe.
I'm gonna
I poured some of
throw
the excess.
throwing a shiny thingy.
I just put it on the side and waited for it to cure overnight. The next day
This
it was
is
okay, so I demolded it and cut off the excess with a hacksaw. This was the final
I actually feel proud for once
definitely
that I was able to work out Tinker's construct for this version of Minecraft. That I feel proud.
I'm not exactly sure what the reason for this was, but apparently it still happens, even when the top is completely covered. In any case,
We. Alright. I'm gonna land.
I
Ow.
decided to try doing that again, except this time I had a much better pump and a better vacuum chamber. Unfortunately, at this point,
Okay.
I didn't have any large pieces left, so I just
Well, dang, a lot has changed since
when we were done, I laid them out on the dish, and I made sure that they had a excess of
the
epoxy.
start.
I also found out about 30 years
Dang, this shit can burn forever.
with the half-cured epoxy that I pulled these pieces from. This was
Okay.
really like the next day. The piece on the right was probably my
What else do we have? There's flint. Oh yeah, obsidian.
I peeled it off, cleaned it up with a razor blade, and then I did my transparency test.
Obsidian.
It was a bit hazy, but the text on the other side was still pretty easy to read. So I guess these conditions were my best so far, but there's definitely a lot of improvement that can still be made. For example,
Dang.
as it's cured over the next couple of days,
Alright, so we got
bending
a
itself
lot of obsidian in here.
didn't end up cracking, but it was still definitely a problem. However, it did kind of
I kind of want to see what it all piles up to.
Anyway, I think that's about it. In general, I had a lot of fun working on this project, but I definitely think it was a lot more difficult than I expected.
Diary of a Tinker.
There just wasn't very much detail in the paper.
You see, I would read that
Except for this process
if I was interested. Unfortunately, I am not, so
thin as possible.
don't give me any looks.
Which I never really mentioned was the reason why these people even tried making transparent wood.
Flint hammer, cobalt hammer,
And not only did it make a strong composite material,
battle axe,
and it came from a renewable resource.
inf miner.
Though, as we saw in this video, is that getting the epoxy into
Why does it have so much attack damage? What the heck?
in the future I might revisit this because I think I still
Slimy stone bound, unbreakable. How do you even get such a thing?
and then I might move it just
You need a slime stick.
shapes. I have so many projects to
Some like
do that though, so I have no idea when
cobalt thingy.
to doing that.
It looks like cobalt. That looks like what you need.
Everyone who supports me can see my videos at least 24 hours before I
Nah, that's crazy.
Also, everyone on Patreon can
Absolutely wild.
support me with $5 or more.
The scythes.
See here.
Whoa, molten obsidian actually looks kind of cool. It's not purple. I don't remember if I did my intro or not whenever I was starting a stream. I probably didn't. I forgot to do my intro probably. Oh well, I won't forget to do my outro. But yeah guys, I'm gonna upload more often. Cause
Welcome everybody to Fire Lone Sails. A game that came out
well,
quite a while ago,
I mean,
actually,
I really want to upload more often, and this world is really fun to play in for you guys. So yeah, I hope y'all are having a good night or a good day, whatever. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the stream or whatever, however you want to interact with this video or live stream, you feel free. You don't have to if you don't want to, but that's your freedom of choice. So, but yeah, guys, y'all can land now. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day or good rest of your night or